So I recently, well, not recently, but I saw the new Chucky movie or Child's Play 2019 uh about a month ago. Um I wasn't going to say anything about it really. Then I saw the original Child's Play movie that came out over the weekend. And I decided, why not? Why not just give my thoughts on this movie? This is not going to be really long or in depth. Um I actually thought that some things in this movie worked a lot better than the original. I'm not going to compare it. I'm just going to go over what this movie is. So, this movie is billed as a horror movie. Um, Obviously, it's a Chucky movie. If you're familiar with Child's Play, you know that's pretty much what it is. It's about a killer doll that goes around, or a doll that goes around killing people in pretty horrific ways. Um, and in the original Chucky movie, the way that the doll became a killing machine was that it was possessed by a serial killer who was about to die. So the serial killer is cornered in a doll in like a Toys R Us type place. I think he gets shot fatally. He's about to die, and with his dying words, he transfers his essence into a doll. So that's the original. In this one, what happens is these dolls are mass produced, just like the original, but there's no serial killer. It's all AI. So it's artificial intelligence run amok. So the way that it's run amok is that there's actually a company in this world of Child's Play that produces these AI dolls that are supposed to learn from their owners. And they're not just dolls to play with. They're supposed to be like companions for kids. And they have certain inhibitors that I think they can't swear. They're not supposed to harm people. And there's certain other things that these dolls are prohibited from doing based off of the restrictions that are placed on the AI chip before it's implanted into the doll. So the way that this doll goes crazy is that there's a guy that it's actually in another country. He's about to get fired. He looks like he's been slacking off, or he's been sleeping, or whatever. And his boss comes up to him and says, "Hey, after this shift, you're pretty much done." He kind of snaps. I think he's responsible for placing these safety precautions on the chip of the dolls. He takes it off of one of them, so he doesn't do any of the safety procedures. He just lets the AI learn everything and no control at all, or no inhibitors, and then he ends up killing himself. I didn't really quite understand the point of that. I guess they needed a reason as to why this doll is not the same as the other ones. It's okay. I don't really understand why the guy would do that, but I'll just go with it. So the dolls are shipped to America. And Audrey Plaza is a single mother, or widowed single mother. And she works for the store, and the store sells these dolls. So this particular Chucky doll was actually supposed to be defective, and it was going to be thrown out. So she keeps it, and she gives it to her son, who is played by Gabriel Bateman. So he plays Andy Barclay. I'm sorry, I forgot. Audrey Plaza plays Karen Barkley. Andy Barkley is her son, and he's 13. So she brings him this doll. He kind of rehabs it, brings it back to life, sort of speaking. And then, the story progresses. He first likes the doll. He gets some friends. The friends start messing with people using the dolls. Typical teenage stuff. If you got a doll that cursed and did all these stupid stuff and played pranks on people, you'd probably have done it also. So, at first it's just typical, harmless teenage stuff, just stupid pranks. But then, he starts noticing that the doll has a kind of a mean streak, and that the doll is very attached to him. Like, like the doll wants his attention at all times. And the doll is actually played by, well, the voice is played by Mark Hamill, which you can definitely tell. And, the whole movie is just Chucky slowly descending into madness because this kid doesn't want to be his best friend. And this doll like kills everybody around him because he doesn't want to be his best friend. This movie is pretty predictable. You kind of know what you're going to get. Does that necessarily mean it's bad, though? Some people say yes. I don't think it's horrible. I mean, it didn't get the best reviews. It didn't do the best at the box office. I think it was okay. It was an okay movie. Everyone was competent in it. Audrey Plaza plays like kind of a clueless mother. It's kind of funny because, I've seen her in other movies and I would not have picked her as a single, as a mother, but she kind of makes it work in a funny way. The Andy Barclay, I think he does a good job as, the kid that's kind of is realizing that his doll is a murderer, is a psychopath, and Mark Hamill does the voice of Chucky really well. He sounds menacing, sometimes. The facial expressions that they give the doll are very good. Some of the kills are actually very good. There's another guy in here. It's Brian Tyree Henry. He plays a detective. So his mother lives in the building where Andy and Karen live. So he's always coming over there to visit his mother. And, he kind of strikes up a friendship with Andy. And that's how he gets involved. And, he's kind of noticing that, it's kind of strange. Like, even though Andy is a regular kid, he kind of acts very strange sometimes. And, a part of him is trying to figure out why, but, other part of him is like, well, I don't, he's just being a kid. It's just weird. So he plays Detective Mike Norris, and, he does a decent job. He's fine. All the other people in this movie are fine. I don't think anyone is standout. There's definitely not going to win any Oscars or any, any awards for the acting. The special effects are actually decent. Sometimes you could definitely tell it's fake, but it's believable enough. The story is okay. There are some choices that some of the characters make that don't really make much sense, but they need to do that in order to drive the story. So if you can suspend belief and, instead of saying, well, I would never do that, and just say, well, whatever, this is an alternate universe, and this is how they do it in this universe, then you're fine. Do I think it's better than the original? I think it's okay. I don't think it's necessarily better. But I also think the original suffers from nostalgia. Because I think it's good, but I don't think it's as classic that people say it is. And this one is definitely not going to get classic status. I don't even know if they're going to make a sequel to this one, in all honesty. Because this one did not do well. Based on, Wikipedia. It grossed $29 million in the United States and $14 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $44.9 million against a production budget of $10 million. Now, based on its budget and the amount that it earned, it actually did well. But as of the movie itself, just as a standalone movie, it did not do that great, because I think the final total was about $45 million. So, it made back its budget like almost five times. But, it still wasn't a hit movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 63%. And, the critic rating, I think, and so the critics, they gave it a C+. Cinema Score gave it a C+. So yeah, I mean, this movie is fine. It's, it's just a regular horror movie. Just reading through the Wikipedia stuff, I don't think anyone really cares about that. This movie is definitely not for everyone. If you're a horror fan, I think you'll like it. Chucky does do some really creepy stuff in this movie. Like I said, Mark Hamill does the voice perfectly, in my opinion. All the actors do a decent job. So, yeah, I mean, if you like the original Child's Play, I don't think this movie will destroy its legacy or whatever. I think it's just, a reimagining of Child's Play, and in all likelihood, it probably will be forgotten, just like a lot of the other Child's Play movies. Like, I've seen the other Child's Play movies, and for the life of me, I can't remember what happens in most of them. And I think this movie is just going to be the exact same thing. 5 years from now, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I do remember that movie coming out. But no one's really going to remember what happened. Unless you're like a diehard Child's Play fan. So it's just another generic horror movie that, does what it's supposed to do well. And what it's supposed to do is make you really not like Chucky and really feel that a doll is creepy as hell. It does do a good job on that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this movie. I think, like I said, check it out. If you're a horror fan, check it out. And yeah, thanks again for listening.